Hey, my name's Barry. I'm the president of Sequoia Environmental, and today we want to take you through a presentation of Sequoia. We're going to do things a little bit differently than a normal. We don't really represent well on PowerPoint presentations. We feel that we're best when people can visit. We understand that not all customers can visit. So instead, we're going to try this for the first time. But the idea would be is we're going to take you through the shop. We're going to take you on a bit of a tour of our facility, and then we're going to have 3 or 4 or 5 different styles of technology that we're currently working on, or we have been working on, and then that will give you a flavor of what we're about. We can't obviously go over everything, but we're gonna do our best. Sequoia started in 1998, so this is our 25th year. We're very proud of that. In fact, it's hard to believe that we've actually been doing this for 25 years. And that Kevin and I are still actually friends, which is a minor miracle in and of itself, I think, and I think he would say the same thing. So today what we'll do when we leave this spot is we'll take you into the yard. That'll be the first part, give you a tour of our facility. We might meet a few of my people, depending on who's around. And then after that, we're gonna go through extraction technologies. Extraction, albeit one of the oldest technologies that we use, I feel that it's the most versatile. It's handy from anything from removal of radon from your basement to cleaning up a condensate spill at a gas plant. So it really is a very versatile technology. Sequoia has been injecting chemicals into the ground for oxidation and oxygenation since about 2002. So we'll take you on a bit of a learning environment through some of the equipment that we've manufactured and designed over the years. We also have a fairly strong engineering team, so I'll take you on through a system that that was engineered, manufactured, and designed all here at Sequoia, because that's our bread and butter. Well, then we'll take you on to doing a little bit of showing groundwater recovery and treatment, and then from there it'll be air abatement, a lot of that going on now. And the final segment will probably be Sequoia Supply. So come along with me, let's go to the back and we'll start this presentation. Hey, welcome back. You saw we took you on a little bit of flyby. That was a deliberate action. We wanted to make sure that you guys got a flavor of our yard. We keep all of our equipment here in Calgary. We have just over an acre of yard space, so we keep all of our equipment here. We also have a whole bunch of equipment that we store for clients as well. So we just charge them a small monthly rent, and they store their equipment here. So you see behind me that this is mostly our facility here. The building goes all the way back. This is mostly the manufacturing section that we work on. And then behind me is the overhead cranes where we load buildings. We also do outdoor skid construction here. So sometimes we get a few oil field skids that are 40 feet long that we have to use the cranes for that. And then, so that's basically, you saw what we have to offer out here a little bit. So now what I thought we would do is I would just take you on a bit of a tour of the shop, just so for those who have never been here, if you've never attended one of our symposiums, it just might give you a flavor of the different things that we do. So I'm just gonna bring you on into the shop, and we're just gonna do a 2-minute walkthrough and then end up back up here, and then we'll start the rest of the presentations after that. So here we're entering our field bay. This is the first of of the 3 bays that I'm going to take you through. This one is where all the staging goes on here. All of the equipment is here for our field people to grab their tools, grab basically whatever they need. We've got a variety of different equipment. Some of our major pilot testing pieces of equipment are in here as well. So this is where they back the truck in, load it, and then they go from here, usually at the beginning of every week. So Sequoia Supply is at this section of the building. This particular area is for our division that we started about a decade ago, first in Regina and now in Calgary. And it rents, sells, and does anything and sells anything that the environmental consultants could use. So balers, services, eagles, we sell turbidity meters, whatever you guys need, we do it here out of Calgary. Later on in the presentation, we're going to do a small segment with Jason, who's our manager of the store, and you'll get a little bit better understanding. In fact, here's Jason here right now. He's working on the bench doing some calibration. Hey Jason, how are you, bud? We move into the center part of our bay. This is, what we'll do is we'll move buildings in here. It's a little bit bigger. Everywhere on the pallet racking is skids of different assortments of gear. We've got groundwater pumps. We've got old vacuum pumps. We've got rotary positive pumps that are ready to be inserted into buildings that already have maybe high vacuum pumps. So we've got all sorts of things on the east side of the building here. You can see Sean's busy. Sean's one of our mechanics. He's working on rebuilding a progressive cavity pump, for example. And then in the other area, we've got an aluminum doghouse that we're putting on one of our systems. So all the welding would have been done in-house at just in the next bay, and then we manufacture here and we put it on the system. So Sean's just busy working away. Then on the other end is, I call it Baduke's area. Kevin Baduke is one of our oldest employees. He's been with us now 14 years, I want to say. Yep. So he's rebuilding a Grundfos stackable, pretty standard submersible pump. Well, he builds a lot of the equipment headers in here, Kev, right? Yep. Like PVC, that sort of stuff that goes into our equipment. So this is that part of the shop that he tries to keep clean and keep everybody else out of it. So yeah, this is that area. We have a lot of the supplies here that we would use in the welding bay. A lot of our weld neck flanges are here, PVC, any of the valves, any of the one-way valves, the bronze and brass stuff's all kept here, stainless steel. So we just keep the minimum on hand so that if we need it on a weekend when we're building something, we get called on the weekend all the time for, hey, can you come help us on this spill? So we like to have some things on hand. Just in the process of right now walking by our electrical room, this particular room, you can see Matthew over there. He's one of our journeyman electrician. He's currently working on a panel. All of our panels are electrically designed and then manufactured here in-house. That way we can really keep the QA/QC level to the point where we like to keep them. So you can see he's working away and just building a small panel for a client on a piece of equipment that we're working on. We keep most of the things that we need in here as well. That doesn't mean that we're not running to one of the electrical vendors on a daily basis, but we try to keep the main things on hand. Henry is sitting here at the desk, is also one of our journeyman electrician. He does a lot of the field work for us and the programming, PLC programming, which is something that we've always kept in-house. We don't like to outsource our PLC programming because there's always, everything we build is customized. So it's nice to be able to have that in-house service. Then as we keep going ahead, we just have a couple of offices here on the left and our lunchroom. And then directly on this side of the wall and upstairs is all the engineering department. The accounting's on the lower floor, but walking through offices isn't ever particularly interesting, but you'll have to trust me that engineering is upstairs and accounting is on the main floor. So from here we walk in through the last bay. It's a little crowded because we have a lot of stuff going on here. On my right is our paint booth. We realized years ago that some of the small things that we manufacture, up to probably 8-foot by 20-foot skids, get just painted here. All the components, the inlet knockouts, carbon vessels, get epoxy coated, all that stuff gets done in this paint booth. So this paint booth accordions out and it basically fills up this whole area. And then we have filters on the other side. So the thing is designed to pull air from the inside of the building and then push the air right through the paint booth, but keep it completely dust-free. It gives us a lot of flexibility because Bryce is often here on a weekend trying to hammer something out that we probably should have finished by the end of the week. And then this is the inside portion of the welding bay. It's really small, but it's really good for small vessel manufacturing. Bryce sometimes works in here in the winter when it's particularly cold, or if the rain can be a problem for welders. So if it's raining, we try to keep that stuff inside, but mostly Bryce does the welding on the outside. I think about 5 years ago, we spent the money to put in an overhead canopy for specifically so he can actually do some inside work outside, so to speak. So yeah, now we're making our way outside into the outside area that we do probably 90% of our manufacturing. You can tell that I mentioned earlier with our overhead cranes, this gives us the ability to lift and to secure things while we're welding on big skids. It keeps the snow off in the winter, so it keeps the ice in this area to a minimum. It keeps the rain off, which we've already I mentioned about. Everybody knows that welding and rain doesn't particularly go well together. But what we really like is once we're done with the skid, even a 40-foot skid, we can lift up to 20-ton buildings and lift them up onto a flat deck truck and then have them ship it out. So then we don't have to get 2 large cranes into doing the lift on some of our buildings. This is a system that we're just finishing up, and it'll be presented a little bit later in the presentation. The whole idea is a client came to us with an idea, and then we engineered them a solution. And then they said, well, actually, we have this old building kicking around. Would you mind using that? And we're like, sure, whatever saves you guys some money. So this is a system designed and manufactured here at Sequoia, but using an old customer building, groundwater recovery, treatment. So we do a lot of the retrofits because we're a firm believer that if you have something, we may as well try to reuse it. And then we go right into something that's absolutely brand new. This little building is just the shell of a building. Our building manufacturer just put the building on last week. You can see that it has no floor in it, so we call it a fishing shack style. We use these for LNAPL recovery, and this particular one is going over a culvert, I think, for a landfill leachate recovery. But it's the same style that we use a lot. If you have a well in the middle of a field or a culvert that you need to put a pump on, we'll just set this right on over top, and then we'll put the pump, we'll put the groundwater pump or maybe the LNAPL skimmer directly in it. But that's kind of the gist. We would really like people to come visit us. We feel that it gives everybody a flavor of all the things that we have the capacity for. That's the tour of the building. Thank you.